For Exorcist, life was always an uncertainty. You never know when your time is going to come. Every trip to Magano, it could always be your last. It was never uncommon for your average exorcist to go on a routine check into Magano, a scout mission, a routine healing, a rescue. Something that was so operational, so in and out, blink and you'll miss it. And yet in one fell swoop, the situation could change just like the weather. And the next thing you know, you find yourself at death's door. For Ryogo, this was something that he knew very well. Even while being the squad leader of the Seika dorms, in the grand scheme of things, as an exorcist, he already knew he was nothing special. You had the 12 Guardians, you had the Twin Star Exorcists, the stuff of legend, the various chiefs and lieutenants. He was low on the chopping block, but that didn't get to him. For Ryogo, taking care of his friends and close family, protecting the people, that was all he wanted. And among his friends, Fushihara, the leader of the Ayame branch. But on their days off, they pursued other ventures. Fushihara, he served as a daycare specialist. The children loved Fushihara, having no note of his secret life, serving in the shadows as someone who protected them from the dangers of the Kigare. But why had Ryogo been called in by Fushihara? Well, there was a girl who had come back to town and was looking to take up being an exorcist again, but for today, she needed a date. Her name was Haruka. For Ryogo, to be in the presence of a girl so beautiful, it left him flustered. And Haruka, well, she was drawn to his meek and humble personality. A chance to see someone like him. Someone that Fushihara had spoken highly of. For Ryogo, he felt more awkward than anything else. Wasn't very often that he got to go out on a date, nor did he ever get to experience happiness. It was something that he always put to the wayside. Fushihara always had to talk him out of it. It was a form of self-sabotage, if anything else. The guy that can turn into something as mighty as a mountain, yet he gets as cowardly as a mouse when a girl approaches. Come on, Fushihara. I could fight giant Kigare all day long with my hands tied behind my back and have no issue with it. But with a girl, it's just... What? Come on, man, you can tell me. I don't know. Are we allowed to do stuff like this? What? Have a life? I think you've had your head in the clouds for way too long. That's not what I mean. We're exorcists, right? Her, me, you know. The life of an exorcist is never easy. Anything can happen. I'm just saying, to form an attachment, to form a bond, when you always know that there's the risk of, yeah. You know, you're not the only exorcist who has to deal with that. Each one, whenever they journey into Magano, we're all fighting the same risk. Of course, we're not the 12 Guardians, Ryogo, nor are we the Twin Stars. We're not chief exorcists. We're nothing high on the totem pole. We're the worker bees of the exorcist community. We live, we play, we fight, we die, we love. And sometimes we lose love. But that's always a part of life. You always run that risk every time you put on the uniform. But then again, if you're willing to give up on your life, And why bother sacrificing it? Fushihara's words were profound to Ryogo, and it gave him a new perspective. With everything that happened recently, with everything that was going on in his city, with the rise of Kigare, with Rokuro and Benio, their fates as the twin star exorcists, his own personal training under Seigen, his desires to get strong were noble, but he also knew not to neglect himself. He left with more clarity, a strong realization dawning within him. He would make the most of his life, enjoying every day and everything that came with it. However, the next day following that conversation, as Ryogo was sitting in the Seika dorms with Rokuro and Benio teasing him about his newfound love life, Atsushi would rush in. He carried with him a letter, and the news was not good. Ji-sama recognized the letter writing. He knew what it meant. In his old age as an exorcist, he had seen those letters time and time again, and they were never good news any time they arrived. As Ryogo would open it, it read, "On Tuesday, at 2:45 p.m., Fushihara Toro, while undergoing a routine inspection of Magano, was sadly lost in the battle. There was no trace of him left behind, save for a photo pictured with the children that he cared for at his daycare center. After thorough research and after thorough investigation, his body could not be found, and Fushihara Toro was pronounced killed in action." For Ryogo, he couldn't believe that he had lost his best friend so quickly. To have gained something like love, but then to lose someone like a brother, as if it were a cruel twist of fate from the universe. The first person he thought about was Haruka. Fushihara had been her closest of friends since childhood, the rain falling upon him as he raced to her home. She hadn't been feeling well that day, and now he knew why. As he stepped in, he saw her, clutched on the ground, drenched. She looked up to him with tears as she fell to him. She didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to say the words out loud. Because if she did, then it meant that it would confirm her worstest of fears. That night, he stayed by her side, until finally she were able to find some semblance of peace through the tragedy. As for Ryogo, for the next few days, no one saw him. He told the others that he was going out on some personal business. Of course, they weren't ones to pry, but Ji-sama saw that look on his face, the look of someone who could not accept the reality. For the next 4 days, Ryogo traveled through Magano, only leaving to take short breaks and rest before entering once again. Every minor Kigare that came across him was slaughtered, his newfound rage giving into his strength. Until finally, off in the distance within Magano, there was a large towering Kigare, one in giant form, bigger than any of the others. Ryogo's anger quickly turned to a shuddering horror as he saw the outline of the Kigare. The hair, its face, even while mutilated and distorted, he knew who it was. "I didn't want to believe it," Ryogo said. I thought maybe there was a chance. That maybe I could find you. Or perhaps I shouldn't have found you at all. What are you doing? Another voice said behind him. Sagan, sir. Why are you here? Everyone's back at the Sacred Dorm's been worried about you. I thought I told you at a young age, you don't go making a mess of things for others. Sagan, right now, I really don't need your lectures. Actually, you do, idiot student number 3. Is your heart stirred right now? Are you overcome by anger and regret? I want you to stow that feeling. I want you to remember it. I want you to keep it buried deep inside of you. This is the life that we have to live, where things and tragedies such as these can take place. Your best friend has been turned into a Kagare corruption, and there's no power that will be able to save him, at least none that you possess. So what are you going to do? Are you going to cry about it? Are you going to run away? Leave this to me, Sagan. And why would I just do it? Please. Fine. Have it your way. I won't interfere. If you die, you die. Ryogo turned to the Kagare transformed Fushihara, now turned into a Kagare corruption. I'm sorry about this, Fushihara. You've probably had to endure an unknown kind of hell for the last few days, being stuck like this. I promise, I will set you free. Now. He pulled a dark blue and red talisman, streaked in gold. Kyojin talisman, blessing of the giants, come forth at once. Immediately, Ryogo would grow in size, his Exorcist uniform transforming from its white to blue and red, a mask forming upon his face, with the kanji for giant etched on his forehead. The power of the Atom Smasher talisman at his disposal, in equal size to the giant Kagare corrupted Fushihara. Sagan would stay on the sidelines and watch as the two of them would enter into battle. Fushihara, now turned into a Kagare corruption, the soul power that he originally had before he had transformed had now been multiplied due to the technique. It was a dark art. In immense exchange for power, you become something otherworldly. The inner monster of yourself is given form. A steep price to pay indeed. Ryogo would continue on in his assault, attempting to pin down and exorcise Fushihara. But the monstrous formed Kagare was not going to make it easy on him. For a few moments, Sagan even wondered if maybe he had the resolve to even finish this fight. Ryogo would back away, pulling out another talisman. Now, Heavenly Rain, Meteor Bullet, come forth at once. The ground of Magano would begin to shake. Far different from the air fissure bullet technique, this one was more accommodating for his giant size. Now he wouldn't be shooting enhanced stones. He would be shooting enhanced meteorites. The ground beginning to shake as multiple rock-like formations would appear, all of them jutting at super high speeds towards Fushihara. One by one as he was struck, being buried under rock, as he would use a binding spell to keep him trapped. Once he would power up his right fist. I'm sorry, Fushihara. I will free you from your burden. I will free you from the sin and corruption. Now, be cleansed. be purified. With a final strike to its heart, the Kagari corrupted Fushihara would dissipate into dust and would disappear, his remains scattering to the ethos, as Ryogo would transform back into his original state, and for a moment would say a prayer to his friend. Fushihara, my brother, you've been with me for so long. You've given me advice and wisdom. You've guided me down this path. It's only fair that I be with you at the end. May you find peace. That was quite theatrical, Sagan said. Still, you've managed to come quite a long ways. Your friend would be proud of you. So Sagan, Ryogo said, is this why you came back after all this time? Yeah. In the Narukami district, there have been a growing number of Kagari corruptions. A lot that's been happening recently. I'd say in the last 2 years. The last 2 years, huh? I'm guessing after the Hinatsuki tragedy? Correctamundo. It seems our idiot student Yuto has been a very busy bee. But why? Why go through the trouble of making so many Kagari corruptions? I think it's pretty obvious. These weren't meant for you or me. They were meant for Rokuro. Rokuro? Ryogo would grit his teeth. His evil knows no bounds. Don't even think about it. You're not the one that's going to deal with Yuto. It's going to be me. Then you better hurry up and find him. Because Sagan, if I get to him first, he's dead. Off in the distance, 2 cloaked figures watched as both Sagan and Ryogo would leave Magano. Aw, this is no fun at all. That pesky Sagan and Ryogo are getting in my way. I'm never going to be able to make Roku my apprentice if they keep hogging up all the spotlight. Patience, Yuto, patience. It's only to be expected that a member of the 12 Guardians would get involved. Or did you think that your actions wouldn't warrant the attention of the Guardians? Oh, I knew that, but it's not like I care. You think they're actually strong enough to beat me? Not one-on-one. I believe that if you had to face any of them by themselves, you could kill them with ease. But you don't think I could kill all 12 of them, do you? Not at the same time. You would be utterly destroyed. Picking them off one by one is the best strategy. But if you keep antagonizing them, well, it's fine. In the end, it makes no difference to me. 1, 2, 3, or 12. In the end, they will all die one way or another. Our forces continue to grow even now. The war is going to come whether they like it or not. The foundation of this world and everything that they protect, it's all meaningless. You plan to strike at the universe? Of course I do. After all, that's why I was born. So young and yet you wish for things so big. A boy who wishes to fight the universe, said the gentleman ghost. You wish to make the impossible a reality. I have big dreams, what can I say? And what will you do after you kill the universe? Yuto would smile. Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna make a new one. A world that can be everything that anyone wants it to be. A world where your destiny isn't preordained. I'll have all of my friends back. Everyone. Especially Rokuro. This concludes Twin Star Exorcist Reborn, whether Rokuro and Benio were Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Season 1, Part 8. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. And stay tuned next time as we continue with Twin Star Exorcist Reborn, whether Rokuro and Benio were Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Season 1, Part 9. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.